Say anything.
Why can't you just say anything?
I'm gonna say anything.
People just say anything.
I swear, people just say anything.
Welcome to Say Anything with Keena B. Hello and welcome to Say Anything with Keena B. I am Keena B. Happy New Year to everyone listening. Thank you so much for joining me on our season 2 of Say Anything. Wow. Yay! So excited to be here. I'm so excited to make it through 2024 into 2025. And for our season 2 inaugural show, we will be talking about 5 things we're going to dump, meaning 5 things I'm just going to let go of, and 5 things I'm going to keep for the year of 2025. I've made a list. Have you made a list? 5 things I'm going to dump and 5 things that I am going to keep. And I would love for you to comment and share the 5 things you're going to dump going into 2025 and 5 things you're going to keep. You will be listening to this on, I believe, January the 6th. So I'm so happy you made it to January the 6th. One thing that I am going to dump before we get into the 5 things is insecurity. Insecurity about, specifically insecurity about not doing something perfect. Because I'm doing a lot of new things. I'm doing a lot of new things for the first time. And also I'm doing some things that I have attempted once before, but I'm trying them in a different way. And I'm learning and I'm growing. And so one thing I'm going to dump, as I said, is the insecurity of doing the things that I want to do. Because people who do not try never know if they can do it at all. And so what's that saying? You miss 100% of all the shots you don't take. And I think sometimes we just wait for perfect. We're always waiting for perfect, or we're always waiting for the right equipment, or for someone to tell us how to do it, instead of just learning and growing as we go. So that's what I'm doing. I'm dumping the insecurities specifically surrounding doing things for the first time or waiting for perfect to do them. Let's just go with it. Let's just do it. And with that being said, I will talk to you after the break.
At Wimbias Market, we specialize in local and global artwork. Find spectacular work by Zambian modern artist Ringo Bryant's Chilashay, Florida ceramist Gloria Nicholson, and naturalist painter Lily M. Clark. Alternative payment options are available on select artwork. Located at 23 North Madison Street, Quincy, Florida, in the historic downtown area. Wimbias Market. Come for the culture, return for the connection.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. We are going to talk about the 5 things I'm going to dump and the 5 things I'm going to keep in the year 2025. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not a resolution. I don't do resolutions. I think they're stupid. Now, I'm not insulting you if you do resolutions. By all means, go ahead and jump in on those resolutions. But the things that I'm going to talk about are things that I have already put into place. I started them probably years ago. Some of these things I've started years ago or started in 2024. And I'm going into 2025 with a sense of renewal, not anything brand new, but a reminder as to who I am and what I am about. But also just I think that sometimes we forget that we have to check in on ourselves. Just check in. And the ability to do the whole Happy New Year thing is our ability to check in with ourselves and be more introspective instead of always looking at what other people can do for you, but look at to what we can do for ourselves. So I'm just being introspective. But they're not resolutions. These are things I've already been working on. And I just needed to remind myself to continuously do these things. So my top 5, I'm going to start with what I'm dumping. And number 1, I am dumping fair weather friends, or fake friends, or sometimey friends. Anything that falls under those categories, I don't want to deal with. And this is not new. I've been doing this for a while. And this is what I consider a fair weather friend. They're only around when things are good for you, but not around when you're going through the bad. Or they only check in when they want to check in, not considering what you may be going through, if that makes sense. So basically, it's a one-sided friendship. You may be calling them, but they never call you. What else? They're not supportive. They don't support what you do, meaning even if they don't believe in it, I feel a friend is someone who may not believe in what you're doing, but they're not going to sit there and drag you for doing it. Particularly if it can be a positive thing. So if I am talking to someone about a new business that I'm going to go into, or maybe I'm going to pick up a hobby that I really want to learn, and then they immediately start telling me all the negative things about what it is that I am saying, or they immediately try to talk me out of doing said thing, that person now has distance. They have brought distance between themselves and I. They have brought the distance. Now, does that mean I'm going to be rude? No. Does that mean that I'm going to be unforgiving? No. I can be forgiving. I can still associate with them. That's why they have the word associate. I mean, we could go out and have a good time and go to lunch and go to dinner and all those different things, but it doesn't mean that I have to share the more intimate parts of my life with that person, because they're not a supportive person. And I am looking for the energy of supportive people, meaning that they bring positivity, not toxic positivity, not delusion, but positivity that will allow you to still be checked when you need to be checked, but not checked in a way where someone's trying to dog you out or make themselves feel better by making you feel worse, or even just dismissing what you're doing because they have their own insecurities. That's when we need distance. We no longer, I don't need to share those things with you. That's when I would have to be discerning about what I share. So farewell to fair weather friends. I would also put under the category of fair weather friends people who do not appreciate what you bring, quote unquote, to the table. Like, you brought a lot, but they sitting there dogging out everything you brought. No, let them go, honey. Let them eat by themselves. You go and find yourself another table, build your own table, go to a completely different restaurant, honey. You probably are sitting at Waffle House and you need to go up the street to, Wolfgang Puck or something, because you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. So, farewell to fair weather friends. Number 2, I am dumping, overextending myself, my talents. And what I mean by that is that I kind of grew up as a people pleaser. And then somewhere in my late 20s, early 30s, I grew out of being a people pleaser, but not 100%. And I sometimes will forget that just because I have a particular talent or gift or ability or skill set that I may have learned, it doesn't mean that I have to extend it to every single person who asks at every single moment, because then I'm draining myself. I'm not able to refill that which is taken from me. And furthermore, it's not always reciprocal. There's no reciprocity there. You're overextending, or myself, I'm overextending, and I'm not getting back what I'm putting out. It's not mutual. And therefore, you end up being drained a lot. And I have to continuously remind myself not to overextend what I am capable of and my resources, and that it's okay to say no. It's just okay to say no. And I have to get out of the wanting to help so much. It's okay to be of service, but it's not okay to drown yourself trying to be of service. You know, when you're drowning, you end up dead. Okay, I cannot help anyone if I'm dead. Okay, so I'm dumping, overextending myself, talents and things like that. Okay, so number 3, I am dumping bread. I've had to dump bread many times, but I think I am truly, truly over bread. Yeah, it's sad. I have to blow the trumpet and do a funeral or a burial or something. I would have a repast, but somebody would probably serve bread at it. So no repast for the bread. It actually physically makes me ill. I'm just gonna, no more sandwiches with bread. I don't, I think I can get away with like corn tortillas at the most, but anything with yeast in it, it's driving me nuts. So sadly, no more bread. I am finished with that in 2025. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't say no more carbs, okay? I just said no more yeast bread. Okay, and so while we're talking about food, the fourth thing that I'm going to dump is, I've tried to dump this many times. I have yet to be successful completely. I've been able to limit it, though. I really have cut down on it a lot, but I haven't actually dedicated myself to eliminate it. So I'm dumping pork. I love bacon. I do love bacon. Like, it's one of the few cuts of meat that I like of pork. But the health risk outweigh any of the other parts of it that it brings, and it's time to let it go. It's just time to let pork go. You don't have to join me, but consider it. And it's just pork. So I'm going to let that go. Letting pork out, leave my life. You know what I'm also letting go? And this was not on my list, but I did this without even thinking about it. Cookies. I'm no longer a cookie fan. I was seriously a great oatmeal raisin girl. I loved oatmeal raisin cookies growing up. And if I had to have a cookie right now, that would be the cookie of choice. But I have gradually realized that I don't love cookies like that. I don't like, it's nothing that I go to the store to buy. I do not go to the store to buy cookies. So I never ask people to make them. I don't. So I think it's time that I can let that go. I can dump that in 2025. So no more cookies. So sad. So sad. And I think that is 5 things that I'm dumping. I think that completes the list, especially including that I started before we actually got into the discussion. What are your 5 things that you're dumping? Whether it's serious or irreverent, what are the 5 things that you seriously want to dump? Or maybe you've already dumped it, but you never actually said out loud, oh, I'm dumping this. What are those things? Comment, let me know. Now, 5 things that I am keeping. 5 things that I'm keeping. And I'm going to go with number 1, my sense of humor. I love my sense of humor. It's a bit sarcastic and a whole lot of silly. I love a good dad joke. Like a really well-placed dad joke is hilarious to me. So I can be a little corny. I like that too. I'm keeping my sense of humor. I can be kind of dark too with my sense of humor. Not crazy dark, but dark enough, dark enough. So I think you got to keep the sense of humor because sometimes you laugh to keep from crying too, right? You got to be able to laugh at things. You got to be able to choose joy because, now I don't mean choose joy and bury the sadness. You have to feel the sadness too, okay? But without getting too deep, I just choose to keep my sense of humor, okay? And not to let things build and eat me up. I think it's ridiculous when people allow life to just eat you up. Don't do that. Don't do that, people. Keep your sense of humor. Number 2, I'm going to keep my youthfulness. I am. I don't care how old I get. I'm going to try to, again, always choose joy, keep that youthfulness. The kids have a way of being creative and innovative and inventive, and just daring. They're daring and they're risk takers. And as we get older and we mature, we become risk adverse. Rightfully so, right? We develop a discernment. Hopefully so. We develop a discernment against risk. And we don't take unnecessary risk. But I think at some point we become so overly scared. We just become scared that we don't even take risks that could better our lives if we just tried. And I think that's not okay. That's not okay for me anyway. You do you. I'm going to do me, okay? And for me, I'm going to try to stay youthful in the sense of being creative, being open-minded, taking risk that others may not take. Because what is life without a little bit of risk? Just boring. It's so boring. You have to take a little bit of risk, you guys. Just a little bit. Turn down a different road that you always go home the same way. Like you always go home the same way. You never go the back way, ever. that seems very, very small, but it's little things like that. But that's not even the things I'm talking about. Because I never go home the same way. I always try to take a different route. You never know who's following you. You never know. I'm just joking. Just joking. But am I? Am I joking? You know? What else? Was that 3? I said my sense of humor and my youthfulness. So it's 2. Okay, another thing that I'm keeping ice cream. I'm keeping ice cream. Yes, I am. Okay? I can't do all dairy anymore. Again, a symptom of getting older. But I can still do ice cream. And I plan to keep that in my life for as long as it will allow me to do so. One good thing is I've naturally cut down on my intake of ice cream over time. So I don't even eat it as much, but I will never deny myself ice cream if I crave it. I just won't. What else am I keeping? I'm keeping red wine. I'm also keeping red wine. I am. I like it. For all of the obvious reasons. But what I'm going to do is just be smarter about the brands that I purchase red wine from. Be very conscious-minded about the ingredients and what's being added and not added to the wine that I purchase. That I'm going to be more aware of, excuse me. And my fifth thing that I'm keeping in the year 2025 is loving myself. I'm going to keep loving myself. I am going to keep speaking positive things to myself, affirmations, and telling myself that I love myself. Do you tell yourself you love yourself? Like literally look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Not in a narcissistic kind of way, not in a grandiose kind of way, not in a self-serving, crazy kind of way, or not for vanity, not that type of I love myself, but a really getting to know who you are as an individual and honing in on those things that you love about yourself and really holding on to them and knowing that no matter who is in or out of your life, that those things still reign true and you have a right to love yourself. You do. And you should. You should love yourself. I think if people loved themselves more, they would hate others less. They just would. Because how much hate can be in a heart that's full of love? They just really don't reside in the same space. The energy is not the same. Oh, to talk about energy, that was something I was going to dump. Matching energy. I don't match energy. I'm not matching anyone's negative energy. I am only bringing my own positive energy. And we can have positive, create and make more positive energy, and you can bring your positive energy, and we can just have a big old positive energy fest. Not toxic positivity, but good learning of positivity, right? Grounded positivity, just like you're grounded in how you love yourself, not out of vanity, but out of just a true, genuine love of what you are capable of and what you can do. Because if we cannot love ourselves, we cannot be loved. We won't let it in. You gotta love yourself first in order to know what it feels like to be loved properly by other people. Because when you love yourself, you know how it feels when someone else is not loving you correctly, right? And you can speak to that clearly. It's like, I don't like how this is making me feel. In a healthy way. Again, not in a vanity way, not in a narcissistic way, but in a healthy, grown way. That's all I'm talking about. And like I said, when you love yourself, you just don't go around hurting other people. You don't make it your point to be negative. You speak life as much as possible. You are forgiving, not gullible, not a pushover, just forgiving and considerate even, But we're all fallible. We all make mistakes, all of us, myself included, constantly. But the great thing is you're able to get back up. You have all reached 2025 and you're able to get back up and you're able to say you're sorry to whomever you've hurt, whether it was 20 years ago or 20 minutes ago, and then choose to move on. Or you can choose to hold on to it, but what does that serve you? To hold on to the negative. What does it serve you? It doesn't serve me at all. So I'm keeping loving myself, and I'm dumping everything else that is the opposite of that. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today on Say Anything Season 2. This episode is about what are you dumping and what are you keeping? Let me know that you've made it this far. And hashtag I'm dumping, hashtag I'm keeping, or hashtag say anything, Kina B, I'm keeping. Let's focus on what you're keeping. Let's focus on what you're keeping. Because I want you to focus on those things that are good to you, that you love, that you enjoy. So let me know. Hashtag something and just let me know that you've got this far in. You have a wonderful, wonderful, happy new year. And I'll see you next Monday. Thank you for listening to Say Anything with Kina B. Please like, subscribe, or share. And as always, remember to go ahead and say that thing that you need to say. Have a great day.